Shalom to elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. Got to give all praises to Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. One of the elders and apostles of the great millstone who led me to this truth, who've been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect and to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we be part of that number. Lord willing, to be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. The judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and is not slack. Second Peter chapter 3, verse 9 is unto a ring. Second Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. So shalom to all everybody out there, the hopeful elect. And Lord willing, we still endure, keep enduring to the end, and stay occupied in the prophecies of Yahawashi. So today the Lord put the spirit on me to deal with a couple of topics. More mosquitoes with West Nile Virus confirmed in Oklahoma. Also talking about some defiled bread, riots, and a few other various end time topics. It's also been a lot of conversation going around the brotherhood where, you know, there was another person in IUIC, I guess he got shot because they was teaching in a bad area. And that's not what it talks about. It talks about how we're supposed to preach and achieve concourse places, which is in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 21. So I want to pull that up first, and then we'll get started with the lesson. You know, we're supposed to teach this where, you know, all people go through very populated areas, you know, and, you know, of course, like, since I'm on the highway, you know, you would have to get out and walk up to me. But at the same time, you know, people, you know, can see, you know, and I usually go right down and teach over here by this mall in the middle of the highway, you know, but it's a big walkway there. Some people actually walk through there. And then my other place is right across the street from a nice church, and it's a suburb kind of neighborhood. And those are the two places that I teach. You know, but you don't want to just be out in the hood. You know, it says don't cast your pearls on the swine, and those people mostly out there, you know, drug dealers and killers. There's some good people in there, of course. But the Lord will lead them to the truth, you know. He'll lead them to the videos. You ain't got to go out there and try to talk to those people. A lot of them people are very dangerous, you know what I'm saying? So preaching the cheap concourse. So we're just gonna read that real quick, and then we're gonna get into it. You know, these are the things that Great Millstone was talking about today. So we're gonna bring that up before we get into the lesson. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 21. And it reads, she cried in the chief place of concourse, see, where all the business is at, where people are walking around, you know. And some brothers, you know, they teach out, you know, in rural areas, but, you know, they're still not in the ghetto. They're teaching where it's safe to their abilities, you know. So she cried in the chief place of concourse in the openings of the gates. And that's why I like going out there on the west side and teaching right in the middle of the highway, because that's where everybody comes in and out of the city. But it's been kind of hard for me to do camp over there lately. But Lord willing, my next camp can be over there. But I've actually got a lot more tension over here with the elder in the other more discreet area, which is, you know, it's actually a good spot because there's a lot of middle class, some upper class people back in that neighborhood, and they come by and see, you know, and those are the ones that, you know, still haven't reached this, as this truth hasn't reached to, that can actually be effective, you know. But yeah, how about Yahawashi? You know, because they think, you know. So Proverbs chapter 1, verse 21. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city, and in the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And a lot of our people, their love with the simple life of America, Babylon the Great. Just doing what you're told, keep your head down, work, make your little slice of nothing, and you can do whatever you want to do, you know. And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. See, and that's what I'm saying. They hate knowledge. Our people hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof, which is correction. Of Yahawah, behold, I will pour out my spirit upon you. I will make known my words to you. And he does it through his prophets, his men. So, you know, I just wanted to deal with that first before we get into this topic. And we're moving on. So this is France riots escalate in the worst night of violence yet. So they still got riots going on over there till this day. So on Friday called the French president, Emmanuel Macron, on Friday called his second cabinet crisis meeting. And just 2 days after the most extreme night of rioting this week, in the aftermath of teenagers' fatal police shooting, looting fires, and violent clashes between law enforcement and protesters, led to 607 arrests across the country on Thursday night. Interior Minister Gerald Darmanian tweeted. So the French authorities saying 249 police officers were injured. Macron was condemned the riots, but has so far ruled out declaring a state of emergency. So that's that perplexity of nations, the uprisings and the distress of nations. You know, and we're going to get into a couple precepts about it. This is 2 Peter. Chapter 2, verse 12, and it reads, but these as natural brute beasts, talking about Esau eating so-called white man, and he also is comparing 2/3 to them. He's basically saying 2/3 is just like them too, of our people. And then the other 16 nations, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not. They don't understand this word. They don't understand this truth. And that's why the Lord doesn't accept them, because they don't accept the Most High and his ways. So the things they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. Verse 13, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they count it pleasure to ride in the daytime, which that's what you see what they're doing, spot and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings, yet while they feast with you. See, having eyes full of adultery, worshiping other gods, sleeping with other men's wives, that cannot cease from sin. And this is why we're blessed, because the Lord has caused us to cease from sin. We still go off time to time, but we're not out here sinning, just sin after sin after sin and not caring about it. Beguiling unstable souls in heart, which is their mind. They have exercised practices, cursed children. See, cursed, which have forsaken the right way, and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam the son of Besor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity, which is sin upon sin. The dumbass speaking with man's voice forbade the madness of the prophet. And that's what, you know, that's talking about, you know, us out here, you know. They think that, you know, it's basically talking about, like, since they look at us like we don't make sense, you know. And it's like basically saying, like, you know, the man that's speaking, talking about the dumbass speaking with the man's voice, that's talking about the prophets, you know. But it's not really calling us dumbasses. It's basically saying we're like the servants of Esau Edom. But I want to go break that down in the blue letter. Because, you know, it means like when you have like an ass or a donkey, it's like that's like your servant, your lackey. And that's what it's talking about. Like we're the servants of this place. I want to go get probably the NLT. Says, but he was NIV we do that. It says, but he was rebuked for his wrongdoing by a donkey, an animal without speech, who spoke with a human voice and restrained the prophet's madness. See, it's talking about, you know what I'm saying? It's talking about us out there rebuking, you know? His slaves are the ones that are rebuking him. So that's what it's talking about, you know? Starting with Yahawashi and Yahawashi, they look at us like we're just slaves, but we're not. We are for now, but we're not slaves. You know, the Most High. You know, ultimately in the end, we're gonna gain our rightful position back wherever the Yahawashi and Yahawashi wanted us to have on the throne. You know, Lord willing, we part of that number. We might just be, you know, people who get to live under the governing body, and that's way better than being Esau Edom. They're not getting shit. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 3. Therefore, then shall there be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. See? These things are spoken of at a time. This is why we're supposed to be doing this. Romans chapter 13, verse 13 says, let us walk honestly, as in the day, not rioting and drunkenness. You know, we're not supposed to be stupid ass drunk, falling all over the place, and, you know, partying and stuff like that. We're supposed to be circumspect, knowing the times is evil, and we in the end. So not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. We're not supposed to envy anyone, you know. But if we speak like when we're on the highways and byways, maybe we might speak like we're a little vexed, which means like, you know, it bothers us, but it's supposed to bother us. We're supposed to hate all appearances of evil, but it's nothing personal. But we're not happy about what we see, you know. We don't really got to watch none of that. We're gonna go over to this is just showing that there's it's the first time we've seen the U.S. kind of buck back, okay? And they're taunting each other right now. It says the U.S. flies nuclear-capable bombers in a fresh show of force against North Korea, okay? And that's what they did. They went and did a little show, and they taunting each other. And just like I did a video yesterday, North Korea, they had a big old massive anti-American protest or parade, if you'd say. So, you know, things are rising, the tensions are rising. So this is Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. This is what it's leading up to. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly, which is World War III. World War III is on the doorstep of America, Babylon the Great. And right now, everybody's showing off their nukes. You know? So, gonna go over here next. It says storm with 100-mile-per-hour winds rips mid 1,000 without power. See if I can get it to play. Lock here for the infomercial.
Right, powerful storms ripped across nearly 5 states, and you know these storms are really going to be a really tough stretch for so many people as recovery gets underway.
Yeah, the look right now, some of the storms that we got in from last night, unfortunately.
For so many people as recovery gets underway.
Yeah, take a look right now. Some of the storms that we got in from last night, unfortunately, we did see a derecho that moved across the portions of the United States. So what happened was we had these straight line winds that moved through the area. It differs from a tornado. When you see all of the debris that's blowing in one direction, all you need is some wind damage that extends for about 240 miles. And then once you have the winds that have been gusting up to right around 58 miles per hour, you know, some farmers, they saw this happen, unfortunately, over in Illinois. Flattened in one direction, it is certainly a telltale sign of a derecho. Now, Springfield actually declared a state of emergency as the damage was discovered throughout the night here. So let's take a look right now at some of the storm reports here. And one of the things that I think it's important to note here right off the top is more than 300,000 people are still without power across Illinois as well as Indiana. And this really continues what we have been seeing really across the country here. Take a look at some of these top wind reports.
That's a lot. A lot of places.
There over in Missouri, 100 miles per hour, and over in Good Hope, Illinois, also saw a wind, and over in Swan Creek, Illinois, we also saw a 100-mile-per-hour wind.
Yeah, I ain't even talking about a tornado. That's just straight wind blowing. You know, that's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. So we're gonna get over here. Bear with me. Gonna put in some precepts. This is Nahum. Chapter 1, verse 3. The Lord Yahawah Bahasham slow to anger and great. He will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind, and in the storm, in the clouds are the dust of his feet. You see? The clouds is basically the chariots. You know, they're a big part of, you know, stirring these storms up. They're hiding clouds and they cause these kind of things to happen. You know, the chariots have their hands in a lot of things. The Lord's got them doing a great work on the earth right now because of the injustice and, you know, the wickedness of this earth. So this is Amos 6. And it reads, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? So everything that wicked happens or evil happens, the Lord has ordained it to happen for a specific reason, you know, to judge somebody in Israel, because he's judging the house of Israel first. And of course, some of the other nations, they died, but they're just casualties of war. The Lord is going after Jake. So Amos chapter 5, verse 10, and it reads, they hate him that rebuketh at the gate, and they abhor, which means strongly dislike him that speaketh uprightly. And this is why they don't want to hear this truth, you know, that the Lord is the one destroying everything. They don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear that, you know, they need to repent and turn from some of their ways. You know, you tell your people they wicked and they get offended. It's like, no, you doing stuff wicked. You got to stop doing that shit, man. You're going to get destroyed. Like, I don't know how I'm going to tell you that, Nisha. So if you telling me we're going to get destroyed if we don't do this, yes. We're not saying nothing like in a riddle. We're explaining it to you. We're breaking it down plain on tables. We're telling you what the riddles are. He's saying if you don't change and do these things, he's going to destroy your ass. You know, there's nothing else. There's nothing like another. There's not another way to explain it to you. You know, we're going to explain it the way it's supposed to be explained. You know, everybody, you know, they claim how much they can take, but, you know, in life, and they can just take on whatever the world throws at them. But as soon as we try to tell them some precepts and some lessons, you know, they can't stand it, you know, and then when you tell them like, hey, you're wicked if you don't believe in this truth, you know, they be like, so you telling me y'all the only righteous people? We always try to tell you our righteousness is filthy rags. But yes, in this doctrine, us coming into this doctrine, that's what makes us righteous. The words of Yahawashi, because we're defending the gospel. That's what makes us righteous. We're putting all our time and everything into this. We're not acting like we're just perfect. And nobody say that over there, and that's the thing. They always try to find a way to like upset the doctrine and try to prove us wrong. You can't prove that we're men in the Lord wrong. You can't prove this doctrine wrong. You can just have your beliefs, and you think they're gonna be right, and you're gonna end up getting put to death. This is Luke chapter 18, verse 8. It reads, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? And he will. It's going to be the elect. The Lord willing, we part of that number. You know? So we don't have to deal with this kind of shit. And if we do deal with this kind of shit, the Lord will get us through. You know, I survived a tornado earlier this year. The Lord made sure I did. You know? I was right in it. You know, people say, you know, he doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but when you got 120 mile per hour wind blowing around you, it's a little scary. You know, you call on Yahawah and that's when to get you out of there. It's not just some, you know, people don't understand, man. Like, it's easy to just say you don't have no fear until you're in that situation. I had fear because I knew the Lord was controlling it. I was like, hey, Lord, hey, have I done enough? Because we trying to repay back a debt that can't be paid enough. It's scary when you're in a situation like that, not, you know, having faith that the Lord gonna get you out of it. But if he kills you, shit, that's justice, you know? And that's how much respect we have for Yahawashi. We ain't no respect of a person, not even for ourselves. We can get judged too. You know, for whatever we did in the past or whatever we did last time we was here. So right now it's talking about mosquitoes test positive for West Nile virus in San Antonio and also in Oklahoma. Okay? They're seeing them in Oklahoma too. Look, Esau Edom just letting them sit on his damn arm. Nasty, man. A lot of people gonna try to go celebrate 4th of July. Gonna be out there barbecuing, going to the lake and try to do all that. A lot of people gonna get sick, man. Because people still trying to have fun and party and stuff, man. The Lord's not in that mood right now, man. He's not in that attitude. He's pissed, man. Ezekiel 14:21. It's a lot, and it reads, "For thus saith the Lord Yahawashi, how much more when I send my four sword judgments upon Jerusalem, which is Israel, us." He's sending it upon 2/3 though. We're getting parts of it too though. We're catching hell too. The third, but we're being tried. See if we're going to keep our faith and not give up. The sword and the famine, these 2/3 don't even know why they're getting punished. The sword and the famine and the noise of beast and pestilence to cut it off, to cut off from it, man and beast. See, and this is part of the pestilences, you know, the four swords judgments, you know. You know, and I remember listening to GMS in the Truth Orlando. He talked about how this is like the four winds, you know, that the angels were holding back. And now the Lord is, you know, they haven't even been released yet. Okay, these are just little small instances, you know. These are little breezes compared to what's going to happen in Jacob's 7. So Hebrews chapter 10, verse 29. And it reads, "How much sore punishment suppose ye shall be brought worthy, who have trodden under the foot the Son of the Most High, the people who crucified him, 2/3 of our people and the rest of the Roman Empire, and have counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified and holy things." So they think that all that happened was not holy. That was righteous what was done, you know. And of course it was grievous for Yahawashi, grievous for us, but it yielded forth a kingdom, and have done despite unto the Spirit of grace. You know, they didn't care about the Most High and what He did. They thought it was just a waste of time, and that's really what they think too. And then when you try to tell them like something, and they say they don't believe in the word, and then you tell them, okay, well, if you don't believe what I'm saying, that means that you're saying that it's a waste of time. There's no point to be talking to you about it if you're not gonna listen and you're gonna apply it to your life. What's the point of talking to you about it? Like that's what things are. When you believe something, you take it and use it because it's useful. Somebody teach you how to build a car, you're not gonna just be like, oh well, that's so useful, I'm not gonna use it ever. Like, no, you're gonna use it. You're gonna learn how to fix it up. Just like with this truth, you get this truth, you gotta use it. Okay, which is to speed the flock with it. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 20, "The anger of the Lord shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart," which is his mind. "In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly." And 2/3 of our people won't consider it until it's too late. They're gonna die. This is Isaiah chapter 41, verse 20. And it reads, "That they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord, Yahawashi, have done this, and the Holy One of Israel have created it." Everything that's going on, the good and the bad, it's all created by Yahawashi, you know, to judge the wicked. You know. So now we got 2 California companies will soon sell lab-grown meat. This has been a big topic in Israel for a minute. But these 2 California companies, Upside Foods and Good Meat, both based in the Bay Area, are the first companies approved by the U.S. to sell meat grown from animal cells. So what they're doing is they're taking these cells and they're putting it in this thing called a bioreactor. Put that up. Tell you what it looks like. It looks like that. They're making meat out of that thing. Okay? One of these. See? They're putting animal cells in that and they're making fake meat with it. Okay? That's a bioreactor. Okay, that's what they're doing. And it's disgusting. Making nasty ass looking chicken and shit. Like, you can't tell that's real or fake, man. That's what it means by defiled bread. You know? So we're going to put in some precepts. Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And it reads, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their bread, defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. And this is what's happening. We're having to eat this fake ass meat and shit, and fake ass fruit, fake ass apples, fake ass grapes. Everything's fake here. The only thing that's real here is the Rawchaa Qadash. And the men who take heed, and the women who take heed to Yahawashi. Everything else is here dead. It said that, you know, they will remain in the congregation of the dead. They're really not alive. Mark chapter 16, verse 18, they shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. And they shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. And that's talking about how, you know, a lot of this food and stuff is poison and all this stuff, and we still not dead, man. The Lord is preserving us. So the water Yahawah Shah. So this is the last article that I found. The King of Netherlands expected to apologize for slavery 160 years after abolition. So, Prime Minister previously apologized for the Dutch slave trade in December 2022 and announced social initiative to bring visibility and legal legacy. And you see, they're always trying to say sorry about stuff. You know, you want to have all them riches. You're so sorry. Give us all your money, man. They're not going to do that. And they're not sorry. And this is why. They act like they're sorry, but they're not. They know they can't be forgiven for what they did. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person, as Saul, the so-called white man, who won more so meat, so his birthright. For ye know that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance. So how you gonna repent if there's no place of repentance for his ass? He can't repent, though he sought it carefully with tears, trying to say sorry, trying to do whatever they do, give people money, make renovations. Ain't none of that shit is going to take away what's going to happen to them for what they did. In Revelation chapter 13, verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into the captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Who was blessed with the sword? Esau, Edom. So the Lord didn't tell him he was going to die by the sword. He just said, you're going to live by a sword. Now they know they're going to die by it. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And that's what we read. That's what we hoping. That's what we waiting on. Not hoping. We know that's going to happen. We're hoping that we endure to the end, though. You know, that's only up to the Lord. So this is Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 8. We're going to go read down a little bit. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of Mount Esau? I'm going to get up a little bit so it can be read if somebody's reading. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed. And the Teman is like the the capitals of Esau, Edom, shall be dismayed, to the end that everyone of Mount Esau may be cut off by slaughter. They all got to get killed. All of them. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And here's some of the reasons. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates when they went into Israel 70 AD, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, the city, even thou was one of them, was as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day he became a stranger, because we're strangers here. Nobody knows us. Some people are starting to find out that we're the Hebrew Israelites, but they don't really know who we are. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah, the so-called Negroes, in the day of their destruction. Neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress, which is right now. They still speaking proudly. They're going to get towed up for it. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So see, they have to pay for this. Why? Because they did it. You ain't never seen Lion King? It's going to come back full circle. You want to rape, pillage the land, put your names on everything, don't give a fuck about us, be happy when we fail. Same thing's going to happen to you. Like you're messing with the wrong people. And they know, so they're trying to say sorry. But we don't want your fucking sorries. We want you going to slavery. We want you to get destroyed. This is Ecclesiasticus. It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. It reads, never trust thine enemy, for like as so is his wickedness. See? He's got a lot of wickedness, ancient wickedness. Verse 11, though he humbled himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. See, we're supposed to be careful around these type of people. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. There's no getting away with it. There's too much evidence for him to wipe away his sins and cover. Is what it's saying. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. And that's what the Lord's saying. Don't forget, man, this is the enemy, man. You can't trust these people. So, Lord willing, this edifying to the flock. I didn't try to be too long today. Lord willing, was edifying to elective Israel, to the hopeful elected Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations, scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Let me to this truth, been ordained by the Lord. Teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect and to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we be part of that number. Lord willing, to be edifying to those who fear the name of the Lord and strive to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and it's not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 is unto a ring. 2 Peter chapter 5, verse 42. Lord willing, to be able to exalt the name of Yahawah, Yahawashi another day. Blah, 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 blah. Lord willing, we get up out of here soon. It's all one.